The heroes of Adventure is Nigh are courageous, mighty, and cuddly? Well, now they can be. Mortimer, Dabarella, Grinderbin, and Sigmar Iceblood are available in plushie form, each with their own adventuring accessory. Display them, hug them, or have them perform in your very own Adventure is Nigh fan fiction. We don't need to talk to every NPC. Yeah, instead, let's make a quick and decisive plan. Get your Adventure is Nigh plushie now at sharkrobot.com or click on the link in the description. And for a limited time, you can buy all 4 at a reduced cost. I'll try the path the Dungeon Master intended me to. Oh blimey, this time I won't use deception.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Windbreakers podcast. I'm Yahtzee, joined by Jay and a slightly ill-looking Marty.
I thought we were all bringing our dogs, and so I brought out my KK Slider amiibo. It's the only thing I have close to a dog.
I can't bring out the real puppies. I've got my socks on.
Well, it's not the dogs that's making you ill for once.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, you had pneumonia, was it, over the weekend?
I did. Yeah, well, I still do. I think I'm going to have it forever. I think I might be dying. This is my final podcast.
Well, enjoy this last glimpse of Marty before his untimely death. We hardly knew him. And now he's going to gush, but not in that way, about musical moments in games.
Yes.
Because not specifically like just music in games, but moments in games that were really made by the very strategic addition of music. And I think this topic came about as an idea largely thanks to South of Midnight, yes?
Mm-hmm. I think so, yeah. Both of us, when we were playing it separately, we were kind of like, a lot of the gameplay is a little bit bland, but we both kind of gravitated towards those really cool moments where a song would kick in that sort of really tied in thematically, especially like near the end of an area, getting close to the boss and everything.
Yes, I said it was in my review, I think it was probably my favorite intersection of gameplay and music that I'd seen in quite a while. It always felt like the music was sort of... it almost felt like the stuff I was doing was always in time to the music, even though, it strictly wasn't.
Yeah.
And all the boss fights have these bespoke blues numbers that play while you're fighting them. But for me, the specific moment that made me really enjoy the musical edition was this bit towards the end of the game where you're basically in Louisiana hell. All these floating bits of rock and building in a void. And every time you get into a standard battle, there's this really upbeat jazz number that plays while you're fighting. And that really felt like a great intersection of tone and gameplay because the whole premise of the scene is that you're dealing with this sort of trickster god who's pull in several fast ones on you. And the addition of the music to the sort of intense combat felt like the game was mocking me in a way. It was like if you were playing something like Resident Evil, but all the monsters were wearing party hats.
Yeah. Yeah, it seemed very very knowing on the game's part. And yeah, like you said, it seemed like something a trickster god would do to you to sort of mock you in your lowest moments.
And those things are entirely communicated through the music, right? You probably wouldn't have had that kind of deeper understanding of the motives and the kind of tone of the trickster god if that music wasn't doing that. It's a great observation.
Yeah, or the scene just wouldn't be as memorable, if it was just kind of a traditional score or kind of the music that just fades into the background. When I started thinking about this topic, my mind drifted to kind of a couple different buckets, and I'm already seeing super chats kind of go in those directions. Yes. But
I think we've all got very specific moments in mind.
Yeah, but the buckets in my mind are there's specific uses of licensed music that have been really like a familiar song used in a really good way. Specific music, scores, so specific original music for a moment, and then music or moments where the music itself kind of genuinely plays into the gameplay. Either you are changing what's happening to the music, or the music is affecting what's happening to you, which is particularly tough. But I think when it's pulled off is really impressive.
Well, why don't we all list a favorite moment because I'm not going to go much further before I bring up the Great Mighty Poo scene from Conker's Bad Fur Day.
No, let's start right there. I mean, that's going to be one I think that's top of a lot of people's lists because it was so, especially for when it premiered, like it was so unexpected and kind of amazing.
It's such an effective joke as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
which is something that's tough in games.
I remember contrasting it against Hell Pie, because Hell Pie's idea of humor was like, hey, you're in a sewer and enemies made of poo, lol. It's poo, lol. That's a thing that comes out of your butt.
Yeah.
Whereas this is like this elaborate grand opera number, which is juxtaposed effectively against the fact that it's a giant poo singing it. That's the joke, not the fact that it's poo, the fact that it's a poo singing opera.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work if it was just a poo.
If it was just a boss fight of a poo monster, it'd just be like, oh yeah, okay,
yeah,
I get it. What a waste.
Yeah, it's a rare moment where like a hat on a hat actually works for the joke.
Yeah.
And also it was always funny to me because in the 90s, like up until this point, if you told me like what was an opera moment in a game, the one that came to mind would have been the opera moment in Final Fantasy VI, which is so tonally different. Like, and it's beautiful and it's so so memorable for its own ways. And then this kind of takes the piss and shit out of it in really remarkable ways. It's funny though, no one ever talks about the rest of Conker's Bad Fur Day.
No.
Yeah, that's like the only bit. Yeah.
I mean, I've actually never played Conker's Bad Fur Day. I've seen the Great Mighty Poo scene on YouTube, and then I watched like a long play of the rest of the game, and the rest of it's just really weirdly slow paced and dull.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like, I'm curious how some of the other there's like levels that are just directly referencing like the Matrix shootout scene and Terminator and Alien and stuff. Like it very much feels like a product of its time.
Yeah.
Whereas
like
that's
Gex or something.
It's exactly. Yeah,
I think it was like a James Cameron with the Terminator moment where he just started with a single vision of like the Terminator rising from the flames, and then just built the entire film around that. Maybe it was like that. They just had the single vision of a boss fight against an opera singing poo, and just everything else was just packed around that.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm all here for it.
Yeah.
Jay,
did you?
What's your favorite specific use of music in games?
I was going to say my joke answer, which is the Little Mermaid scene from Kingdom Hearts 2.
Kingdom Hearts 2? Hell yeah.
Oh, God.
My actual answer would probably be Anything and Everything by Gareth Coker in Ori and the Blind Forest. Specifically the Jinzo tree chase scene.
Yeah.
The use of percussion, and always coming back to this motif, this one lead, which ties the entire soundtrack together. I think towards like the last third of the song, as you're getting close to the top of the tree and your escape, that's when they bring back that main melody, which really ties it back to that idea of escape and coming back to normality after this really intense chase scene. I think it's immaculate. And Ori 2, Will of the Wisps, is like one of the only games to make me cry and at the end, and I think that's largely due to the music in that scene. It is insane how much music can not only set a tone and a pace. That's something that we were talking about on DevHeads with Priscilla, who did the Skin Deep soundtrack, of how you need to set not just the tone but the pace of a scene, but the emotional core. I
mean, the music's got to do something in Ori, because as I recall, my problems with like the emotional moments in Ori was that we don't really have any understanding of the stakes of the plot. Like things die, but then things magically get brought to life again. So are we sad?
What does death mean?
Is hope lost? Like the music has to do a lot of work there.
Yeah, a lot of work. Yeah, and I think it does. I think it's quite successful in that.
I think it works, especially that first example, escaping the tree, works really well. Music, when used correctly in a like high intensity scene, especially like a precision platforming scene or an escape scene or something where like you have to move very quickly and make these quick actions, like a strong track behind that can leave like a really strong lasting impression, to where it almost feels like if that track is created to the right way, it feels like you are playing along to that music. Like it is playing to that frantic rhythm you have of trying to get the hell out of this tree before you know,
Yeah,
drown.
I taught sound design and music composition at university for games, and one of the core things I wanted to get across to my students was the idea of like different types of music. There's in a simple, we're going to boil it down. There's background music that is designed to loop and set a tone in a scene, and then there is set piece music, which is designed to effectively be there to propel something forward. It's a lot more movie score rather than just accompanying tracks. And things like the Jinzo tree and other scenes with precision platforming, the music is very intentionally timed and crafted to line up with those systems, because as a composer in that scene, we know the entire breadth of the platform is going to take place over a minute and a half, and the player will always hit this point at this time, because if they don't, they've failed, right?
Yeah.
They failed, or they're slightly ahead. So
I always think there must be a lot of tricky programming going on in the background with that sort of thing, especially something like South of Midnight, where you're in a fight and the game doesn't know how long you're going to take in the fight, but then when you get to like the next stage of the fight, there's like a cutscene and the music continues to like go along with what's going on in that scene, even though, and it doesn't feel like there was a seam at any point to your ears.
yeah, dynamic music systems are incredibly difficult.
Wasn't LucasArts had one of those for their adventure games? I think the iMuse system. I remember noticing that when I was a kid playing The Secret of Monkey Island 2.
Yeah,
like,
and that was
it didn't matter where the scene ended. The coder for the current music track would find a way to slip in unnoticed.
Yeah, and that was the inspiration that Rare took for Banjo-Kazooie. The overworld theme, it's like the same theme. I've talked about this a million times on podcasts, but it's the same theme. But when you get close to a new level, that song takes on elements of what that level is going to be. So it takes on a more Caribbean feel when it gets close to the pirate level, and the spooky feel when you get close to the Mad Muscle Mansion.
I've made this exact same thing in a game I made at university. I wanted to make a dynamic music system as a proof of concept. And I was in this top-down like wave survival game that we made that was set in this village that had like a beach area, a church, like a haunted church area, all these different areas. And I had this one theme that when you went through to different areas, different instruments and different themings would come in based on the area you're in.
I had something sort of similar to that in my game, The Consuming Shadow. I was working with Mark Hadley, who made Slender the 8 Pages on the music for that. And his idea was to, because the game's based on like a 60-hour time limit. And at the end of that, like the Lovecraftian ancients invade the world. And the soundtrack starts off with just like sort of lonely piano playing. And as you get closer to the 60-hour deadline, more spooky music tracks slowly fade in until it becomes much more urgent. And all the individual monsters would have this sort of additional little tune that would play when they were present.
Yeah, it's one of the things with music that I think is really difficult is battle music, and how it's really hard to get battle music that doesn't sound repetitive, and also the transitions between. You were talking about South of Midnight and their transitions from combat to cutscene.
Well,
super difficult.
Well, one thing you could do is have battle music that is just really kicks ass, so you never get tired of it, like in Persona 5.
Yeah, I mentioned it in on DevHeads, but there was this situation in Prince of Persia: Warrior Within where very early on I was in combat, and then I finished combat, but the music didn't stop, and all the music in Warrior Within is super edgy and like new metal, like crazy shit. And I then proceeded to do quiet, like ledge grabbing platforming, but with like in the back, and it just like broke my emotions so immensely that I wanted to stop. I didn't, because I love Prince of Persia, but
oh my god, what if you fall?
This sucks.
What if you fall?
Oh my god, I'll just reverse time.
Going back to like licensed music and going back to like doing stuff in time with the music, it would be remiss for me not to mention Hi-Fi Rush, which of course is a rhythm game, so the music thing's unavoidable. But for me, the specific moment where I started to really get into it was the introduction sequence, which didn't feature gameplay, but where it's all like set up to the tune of Lonely Boy.
Black Keys.
Right, Black Keys, yeah. And the other one that leapt to mind was the Saints Row series, like at the end of Saints Row 3 when they play I Need a Hero when you're going off to rescue someone. And there's multiple moments in Saints Row 4 where they play licensed music over story events. And I suspect that might have been because they licensed a bunch of music for the car stereos, as they always do, as they always did for such games, and then realized there was no reason to drive a car in that game.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember there was one that, well, he's insane now, but that used Kanye's Power. I think you were skydiving into a penthouse. I don't know why I had to caveat he's insane now, but just a safe caveat. Yeah. When you mention music and gameplay entwining, I think of the Rayman, those musical levels in Rayman Legends and or Origins, where you're platforming to the beat of a song. The Sackboy's Big Adventure, which was a launch game for the PS5, also did a similar thing. I remember there was a level to Britney Spears' Toxic, which is one of the all-time greatest songs. Not insane. Britney Spears is great. But that was one of those moments. And then the first time I ever remember a moment like that, like my actions affecting a song, there's like a specific level in Yoshi's Island called Touch Fuzzy, Get Dizzy, where it's a simple platforming level, but there's these like pollen spores that are slowly floating down, and if you touch any of them, everything it's pretty much psychedelic. It's like a mushroom trip, and the level gets all wavy, your controls get weird, and the song morphs into this really strange, like the tempo changes and the instruments like kind of warp. And that was, as a kid, I was like, I don't know what this is, and as an adult I'm like, oh, this is a drug trip. This is what they're trying to signify. Quite simple. What were you gonna say? Sorry, what were you gonna say, Jeff?
Yeah, it was something on the topic of licensed music and the idea of I think it can be extremely powerful, especially if you know the tune. I think something that I find fascinating is the idea of lyrics in game music. It's very rare we see this. It's good. It's like we can see it in Persona 5. We can see it in really beautiful moments in the original Red Dead Redemption, where these long horse rides you'd be going on, and then just these beautiful tracks with lyrics would come on. But we very rarely see it, and I think that's because what I always say, lyrics in music or like melody are there to accompany the chords and occasionally line up and give that satisfaction. But for me, in game music, your gameplay is the lyrics of game music, right? Your actions timing up and lining up with the music is that same satisfaction we get when the vocal melody lines up with the riff in the back. And I think that's why we don't see a lot of lyrics in game music, because it can be distracting, and it's more satisfying when our gameplay has the chance to line up instead of the lyrics themselves.
Or if the lyrics come in, be used sparingly. It has to be like a moment to punctuate, not over the course of every song has lyrics.
I have a feeling we're all dancing around Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance when we talk about this. Because
I literally, when I was going to wait till a moment where I just said Kojima games. I know he didn't direct that, but Kojima entirely. But yeah, Rising: Revengeance. Yeah,
because it was in the boss fights when you get to the last stage, the J-Rock tracks suddenly acquire lyrics.
Yeah,
and it's all very well, but I ended up muting the music when I was playing Revengeance because I felt like I had to concentrate on getting those fucking parries, and it was really starting to piss me off.
Yeah, I feel like the music in those fights works really well once you've mastered the game. That's when you can really embrace those moments. But yeah, if you're still learning the timing, it can be feel kind of overwhelming.
Would you say it's distracting, completely distracting from the task at hand?
Possibly. I mean, that overwhelming. Going along with what you were saying about the lyrics, being on the same mental wavelength as the gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel it would be profitable to go to Super Chats early this week, because I feel like this podcast is going to be a lot of examples, and the Super Chats have plenty to provide.
Sure.
Oh, yes.
I do want to touch just when I meant Kojima entirely, stuff like obviously the Snake Eater ladder scene is
Yeah, that was. I mean,
Iconic.
it's certainly iconic, very memorable. And I just wonder how you come up with that idea and bring it up in the meeting. So
I guess he doesn't have to bring it up. He just is like, we're doing this. And everyone's like, yes, sir.
Hey, how about when they're climbing this ladder, we play a sort of soulful, no instruments, only the vocals version of the main theme? And the other ones were like, well, we could do that, but wouldn't we not be climbing the ladder for very long? We wouldn't get a chance to hear much of the song. And then Kojima goes, aha, I've thought this through.
Make it 5 times longer.
Make it the world's longest ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even into modern stuff, like I just replayed Death Stranding, and like some of the most memorable moments of that game are when he takes control over what song plays at a specific moment, and you crest a hill going over to a new location, and a song kicks in, a Low Roar or a Silent Poets or Church's song, and like it's incredible. Like he understands it, like the relationship between what you are hearing and what you are feeling, and the journey you went along that way, and melding them all together in really impressive ways for all of Kojima's the criticisms you can level at him, which are numerous. I think that guy gets the marriage of music and gameplay quite well.
I got one last example for Super Chats of like a musical moment I really want to highlight. It's on the SNES and it's not Final Fantasy VI. Fuck off.
Is it Earthbound?
You try-hard normies. Yes, it's Earthbound. When you finally hear the full Stone song.
Yeah.
There's the whole game. Every time you get into a dungeon and you hear a new snatch of that song, the whole game has been leading you up to hearing the entire song. And when it finally plays, it just makes you want to cry. It's such a soulful tune.
That build-up is awesome.
Yeah, it is also a rare example where literally your journey is putting together this song. Like the crux of the game is slowly piecing together this song, which is really cool. Love that big.
I like that.
How good is Earthbound? What did we just play Earthbound instead?
What a game.
You know the rest.
We're gonna get a copyright strike because there's 2 and 2.
There's something also. I speak a lot about top-down versus bottom-up design and like what comes first. You know, the chicken or the egg, or the narrative, or the mechanical systems, blah 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 blah. But there's something really interesting that I'm experiencing right now with the game I'm making, which is because I'm composing all the music myself. A lot of the times you are given a scene, a theme, and then you compose the music to that, right? Oh, it is spooky level, I will make spooky music, right? But I'm carrying
a theme and a can of sunscreen. Sorry.
Exactly. But I'm carrying the opposite, which is I've written musical tracks that I really like, but I don't have like a level for them or like a place to put them. And I'm like, well, I like this. I'll just make a level for it, like, and that inspires the new thing.
It's like how animation starts with the voice acting and then animates around that.
Yeah, it's an interesting indie dev thing that I've noticed, which is really nice. I've not experienced that before.
All right. Susiguru 2000 gives €5, and they want to nominate the end credits of Terranigma, where the main character's last dream before he dies is flying across the world he created, transformed into a bird. Gee, spoiler alert, Susiguru 2000.
I think once you hit the 30-year mark, you're fine. This is one I've never played because it never came to the US. Granted, you could have downloaded it for the last 30 years, so that's on me. Yeah, a lot of the Super Nintendo JRPGs had like fucking banger tunes. Like absolutely banger tunes. Like between Chrono Trigger, Earthbound, Final Fantasies.
I think video music was always much more melodious before you could just have standard orchestral tracks for absolutely bloody everything.
Hardware limitations led to all of that, and I think I
mean, Mario had a theme song, Zelda had a theme song, Tetris had a theme song. These days, what's the theme song for fucking Call of Duty these days?
The Star Spangled Banner.
Who knows? De Morgue is $1.99 and says the airport shootout of Max Payne 3 is great. I don't remember that at all.
I remember the shootout. I don't remember the music, but
The
there
music,
are
no.
hardcore action scenes that are punctuated to music. I think work really well. Like the ashtray maze in Control.
Hold your horses. There's 5 super chats going to bring that up.
Oh no, sorry, I didn't bring up the ashtray maze from Control. That was a lie.
Dr. Theo gives $5. Says, I think the music for the Ocarina of Time was the first time I truly appreciated music in a game. Those first piano notes still take me back.
Also, an example of a game where creating music is a mechanic. It's very simple music, obviously, but where you are, those tunes can become so memorable because they are functionally mechanics in the game as well.
Yeah, the first game I can think of that did that was probably Loom, the old LucasArts adventure game.
Ooh, I never played that one.
Where you have to play 4-note tracks to play cast magic spells, and it was quite a sophisticated system. Because if you play the tunes backwards, some of the spells do the reverse effect.
Oh,
yeah,
that's me about Animal Well, discovering the teleport.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Fuck, remember Animal Well?
That's not a good game.
Oh, also really cool. Yeah, one of the reasons I think Zelda songs have become so ingrained in us is Nintendo does a really great job of echoing back to them. Like even Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, you will hear certain tunes like the Lon Lon Ranch tune when you get, the Lon Lon Ranch, sound when you get close to it.
Motifs, baby.
Motifs.
Fucking a cappella Super Mario theme in Super Mario Sunshine.
Yeah.
For the win. Sovereign gives €5, rather, and says, of course, you have to include at least one Remedy game moment in here, like Herald of Darkness from Alan Wake 2, or the Ashtray Maze from Control.
Oh, we did it. God, I still haven't played fucking Alan Wake 2. What is wrong with me?
Me neither. I need to.
I'm out here fucking replaying a bunch of games.
That was literally the first ever fully Ramblematic. That was I think that's 2
why I didn't
years
play,
ago
because
now.
it came out and then everything imploded.
Well,
I was like, do we got a job anymore?
Jobs like the same week, dude.
That is true. We had job very quickly. I think my mom was my head injury. I was like, I have to now replay every Remedy game.
There you go.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Raven gives $5 and says, week 3 of having nothing to ask and nothing to contribute to the conversation. Well, you have something to contribute, Raven. Money!
Woohoo!
Thanks, Raven.
Thanks for the jobs. First week.
Since we highlighted Tsunami Dusha, everyone's trying to have their own thing with their super chats now.
I like it. I like bits.
Okay.
There should be more of them.
Have your bits. Yeah. As long as we're getting...
this isn't on Twitch. We don't get bits.
Oh. Alex Armstrong gives $2. As much as we like to mock Sonic, his music is legend. Fucking Mystic Cave Zone. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Wasn't the last song at Omar's wedding the
fuck yeah,
Sonic Adventure 2 song?
Yeah, it was.
I never thought I'd find a more pathetic wedding song than the love theme for Final Fantasy VIII that played at my friend who was a weeb's wedding.
And then we got, what was it, Rolling Around at the Speed of Sound?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rather intense. I was in bewilderment. I was like, what?
It was great.
Yeah, which emphasized it was one of the last songs on the soundtrack. It wasn't like the first dance or anything.
I think it was literally, it was the idea of closing time, which I thought was great.
Okay, everyone out. Here's the fucking Sonic music.
I just imagine what do the old grandmas think there? And their babushkas. I don't know if there was any babushka grandmas there, but
there was an entire table of babushkas.
I didn't realize Omar was Russian.
Yeah. Shout to babushkas.
Nidorum gives $5. Says many games have great music, but as far as musical moments, the intro song Snake Eater in Metal Gear 3 has to be an all-timer. Also, the end of Outer Wilds.
Yeah. I'll save my Outer Wilds thoughts for the next one because...
Okay, Fungus Finding his $5 says Outer Wilds, especially the ending, also the expansion. Unrelated note, I was going through semi-ramblos and noticed what happened to Mr. Socky. Mr. Socky is very happy. He's living on a farm with all the zero punctuation imps. He sleeps by the fire every night, and the farmer's wife knits him little booties.
Oh, that sounds nice. Yeah, the culmination of Outer Wilds, without spoiling it, because everyone should experience it for themselves, is so much of the game is about these small pieces of music, and it all blends together at the end in almost a similar way to what you said with the Soundstone in Earthbound, to just a really beautiful moment at the end of a really beautiful game.
Hilt 87
the DLC.
Hell yeah.
gives 50 Danish kroner and says, Homeworld had one of the saddest scenes. One's planet is burning and a chorus singing Adagio for strings begins, the one used in The Platoon.
I think it's just regular Platoon, right?
I think it's just Platoon, yeah.
Yeah. I've never played Home. Isn't Homeworld like a big old strategy game? I guess you can
I
play
believe so,
strategy games. I don't know why.
If you're into strategy games, maybe that's like sort of thing.
Or if you're into The Platoon.
Shout out to Oliver Stone.
No, The
Johnny
Platoon
Rocks.
was the sequel that was made
Like
like
the
20 years
Suicide
after the
Squad.
fact. Yeah. Purple Audacity gives $10 and says, music is great and all, 6.8 according to Pitchfork, but would you all clone your dogs? If so, would you spend thousands of dollars applying the Fielder method to achieve nature-nurture synchronicity? No, I wouldn't clone my dog.
A reference to last night's episode of The Rehearsal on HBO, which was fucking insane. I had like 102-degree fever watching that episode, and it is insane. The show The Rehearsal is almost impossible to explain, but yesterday was all about trying to recreate a scenario by spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to clone a dog and raise it in the exact same climate it was raised in, to the point where they were importing the air from the city. It was insane. It was truly insane.
That is pretty insane.
Yes.
No, Toffee's one of a kind. It would never be the same.
Same for Ludo.
Could you pick Toffee out of a lineup of similar looking dogs?
Yes, I would say, look, one of those dogs is going berserk and barking at all the other dogs. Therefore, that one must be Toffee.
I actually had this issue the other day when I took Ludo to the groomers. And after like 3 or 4 hours, I went back to go get her. And I was like, oh, can't wait to see Ludo, a nice cut hair. And there was a dog on the table that was like, looked exactly like Ludo. And when I went in, went apeshit and was like excited to see me. And I was like, is that my dog? So he didn't have a white paws or a white chest. And I'm like, and there was this moment of like, is that Ludo?
Yeah, Ludo was just covered in flour the whole time you knew her. And just got cleaned off.
You had your name?
Hi, Ludo.
I always think about that, like,
Hi, Ludo.
When you have a kid in a hospital, like, how do you know you get the right one on the way out? Like, they take them to the room with all the other little kids.
You don't. That's the problem.
Well, speaking as someone who has been through the process of having a baby, these days they don't separate you from the baby at all.
Really? They don't take them to like the little baby room, baby incubation
room?
No,
they clean off the baby, make sure they're breathing, and then they just give you the baby straight back, and then they just stay in your room until you leave.
They kick you out of the hospital as quickly as possible.
Probably how it should be, yeah.
Probably to avoid the whole swapping scenario.
Yeah.
They make a point that it's important to have proper skin contact as early as possible. With
on the chest of the mother is the common one straight away.
Yeah, so they stick it straight on the mum, and then like when the babies had the first feeding, they hand the baby to daddy as well, so they can have some skin on skin contact as well to help the bond.
Yeah, super important. Yeah.
I had to unbutton my button down shirt that I always wear.
Your black button-down shirt, you had to put the little baba there? That's so sweet.
Yeah, I know. Lastimosa gives 125, I think that's Filipino peso, and says, in Metal Gear Rising, when the boss fight instrumental adds vocals when you're nearing victory, it's as if the vocals are the boss's swan song. Quite.
Yeah, I like thinking of it that way.
But the moment's kind of lost if you then die and have to start the boss fight all over again, isn't it?
All of those musical moments, like the Ginzo tree, is that the name of the tree?
Ginzo tree, yeah.
So Ginzo tree. Yeah. I remember, surprisingly, well, I'm pretty good at 2D platforming games. I didn't have too much of a problem with it, but I knew some people who were like, that section filtered them out because they got so fucking frustrated with it. Yeah. And that's the thing, is these moments are great if you're kind of on a knife's edge and you make it out. But as soon as you start having to replay, then it starts getting annoying as hell. And you start to like disdain the song you were hearing.
I made an episode on it. Death in games in general is just kind of a bad thing. Like, there has to be challenge, but it can ruin so many aspects of your game if you repeatedly die.
On a point, put it in easy mode.
Yeah,
you could always just do the Zelda thing, where if you fall off a cliff, it just instantly teleports you back onto the ledge.
I like that.
Equivalent.
I think every game needs a Lakitu who comes over on a cloud and like fishes you out of holes.
Well, that makes. I'm trying to think now. How do you maintain the pace for like a musical segment in a game through a character being killed?
There's certain.
I guess what I would do is I'd cut to like a montage of a character being kicked around, so it's still in time to the music, and then like you see your soul go down a pipe very fast. Oh no! And then getting restored.
What
to the
game is
I
battlefield.
can dig that.
What game was it? Neon White. There's another game where you're doing quick restarts all the time that I think it just doesn't stop the music. So it's
Neon
not like
White
every
doesn't-
time you.
You mentioned that specifically in a video that I edited for you on The Escapist on Neon White.
There you go. That's the game I'm thinking.
Yeah,
of,
but
which I
that's
think
got some
that
like
helps a little bit.
breakbeaty jungle fucking
Yeah.
drum and bass drums. That's just like awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Alex Armstrong gives $5. Says a musical moment that always makes me smile is the final level in Mario Odyssey, where a vocal track plays and you're trying to get out of the moon cave. Yes, that is a good moment, and I think at that point, sort of the challenge of the game is kind of over, and you just want a sort of victory lap, if memory serves.
Celebration,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, but musical moments in Mario Odyssey, the one that always sticks in my mind is that jump up superstar. Yeah.
Yeah, surprised nobody's brought that up yet. Yeah, that's like the highlight of the game.
And again, one of those things you could do once, and if you were to reuse that, it would kind of lose its luster. But to throw in once halfway through the game is really poignant.
Makes it super memorable. Yeah,
I like it.
I like the lyrics.
Super memorable, honestly.
I like if you stop moving during that sequence, Mario does a little dance in place.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
There's the ending with Bowser is another example of what happens to music like that and how it loses its luster when pacing is broken. Because I remember there's a section where you have to beat up a massive wall, and for some reason I got stuck there, like I didn't understand what the game wanted from me. And that music was playing, and I'll tell you what, that music kind of sucks if you're stood still trying to figure out what to do.
Sure.
It's great when you're running around and everything's hunky-dory, but things were not, in fact, hunky-dory.
No, my favorite bit of the Super Mario Odyssey ending was the bit where Princess Peach shuns Mario and then nicks his car.
That's good. Her and her hat are both like, piss off. We're going on our own adventure.
Saying, ha ha, nicked your car. Paul Pastor gives $5 and says, just finished Alan Wake 2 this weekend, so gotta bring the We Sing segment up as well as the summoning and controlled ashtray maze. Yes, we all love the ashtray maze.
It now seems like they have pressure to deliver a moment like that in every game they make. It feels like if you do it a few times in a row, it's now like on.
I know they made it one for their own back. It's like the sudden harrowing moment in Call of Duty Modern Warfare games.
Yeah.
Now, eventually, it just feels like you're just doing it to tick it off the checklist. Lars Weisheit, member for 17 months in the Green Gang, says, really enjoyed Skin Deep. All thanks to you guys. I'm meaning to go back and play that some more, but unfortunately, we've just got the Doom the Dark Ages review code in. So not this week.
Did you I didn't get a chance to watch it. Did you enjoy your hour with it on Yahtzee Choice?
Yeah, I was enjoying it, yes.
Nice.
I'm keen to see what else it does with the concept. Fox D
also
gives $5.
Oh.
Sorry, support indie devs, yes.
Support indie devs.
Fox D gives $5 and says, Celeste taking the leap off the cliff at the start of the World of Ruin in Final Fantasy VI contains a version of her leitmotif that is utterly heart-wrenching.
That is also a good one.
Yeah, fuck off, opera scene.
Also, when Celeste taking a leap off the cliff, I thought we were talking about the game Celeste. And then I was like, oh, Celeste.
You know, for a moment, I thought that as well. I thought they might have mistyped.
All of the music I use in Design Delve is a mix of
Celeste, right?
Celeste, Stray. Stray has a fucking banger soundtrack, like super weird. And also Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight's got an incredible soundtrack as well.
Real good songs. I loved Hollow Knight soundtrack. I can't remember I couldn't hum a tune for it. Granted, I haven't played it in like 5 years, but
so I think that's a lot of video game music is like that. But if it comes on, it's like something switches in your brain, and then you're like, "Oh yeah," and it's like it comes back.
Point. Yeah,
like I said, it's the retro tunes you can hum.
Yeah, I guess they entered my
just
brain.
Melody, right?
I can still
also
hum
entered my brain when I didn't have a lot inside of it.
I can still do the Final Fantasy VI opera melody as well.
Yeah.
Na 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 na.
What about Yahtzee hums?
Brought
Could
a
that be
tear to
space?
my eye. It did.
Yahtzee hums.
I could whistle it as well.
Yahtzee humps?
Yahtzee hums.
It's okay.
Whistling doesn't come across on microphones. It's just muted.
No, that's why I wasn't whistling. That's why I was afraid that would happen. Stephen Jackson, Stack Daddy, gives $5 and says, one of my favorite examples from recent memory has to be in Baldur's Gate 3 during the Raphael battle, where he sings his own boss music, like Disney.
Oh, that sounds great. I haven't played it, but that seems
Yeah,
neat.
it's just Raphael and the Great Mighty Poo. The only two bosses that do that.
You know what? Characters bursting out into song moment I liked recently. I made a whole video about it in Pirate Like a Dragon.
Oh,
You
yes.
set off an adventure and they just bust out into song. It happens again later on in the game. Great stuff.
Yeah.
I like
It's like-
the carry on.
No, don't want to.
Fuck.
Change of
I
I
mind.
like the spoken poetry rap from Master.
Phantom of the
I still
Night.
played that.
Phantom of the Night gives
Yeah.
$4.99 and says, not sure if it counts, but half of what Death Stranding work was the soundtrack.
Yeah, goddamn right it counts.
You right.
You know what? So another example of great music in Kojima games, Metal Gear Solid 5, you collect the different tunes and you can put them on. How do you guys feel about making your own musical moment in a game? Whether it's doing something crazy in Grand Theft Auto to the song you have on the radio, or
That
listen,
Well-
like playing a Tony Hawk. Like I played the Tony Hawk 1 demo to that Goldfinger song Superman all the time. Do you think that kind of counts in the conversation, or is it like a different thing?
Well, when I finished Saints Row 4 and I was in post-ending fuckabouts mode, I did go to the game's in-game iPod and queue up a bunch of tracks and then just sort of fucked around using the high-speed city navigation traversal abilities. And one of the songs was Song 2 by Blur, and that works pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved the fact that with Grand Theft Auto, which I've played a lot of, the song choices and the things that came on the radio, you could pick effectively your theming by the radio you chose, but then what song came on usually informed how I was playing. If Danger Zone came on, I'm gonna go get a fucking plane. I'm getting a jet, and I'm going for it, right? Just because I felt like that was appropriate, and it's cool how the weaving of those songs would change my my objectives in those games.
The True Mandalorian gives $2. It says, Sublime's What I Got, sing along in Saints Row 3. Now, that's another case of doing something once and feeling like you have to do it every game. Because in Saints Row 2, they introduced a hidden feature where if you listen to a song on the radio enough times, your main character starts singing along with it.
Oh,
That's so cool.
Yeah, and that was such a cool feature when people really appreciated when it came up that they started working it in to the rest of the games, and usually in specific moments.
I like
That's
that.
awesome.
Objective, retrieve all the frogs. Member for 12 months in tip jar. Thank you very much.
Retrieve all frogs.
And then Alex Armstrong comes back with $2 and says, Majora's Mask Final Hours song always creeps me out.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's great. What a good
Foreboding.
vibe that game's a terrible vibe, but what a good terrible vibe.
It's
Oh,
great
yeah.
at doing that horrific
Yeah,
vibe.
It's great to have a good, terrible vibe.
Yeah.
And again, if you turn that music off, I guarantee you 95% of that vibe will evaporate.
Yeah.
What's
It's music.
What's the equation? The effect of a speech is 60% how you sound, 20% how you look, and 10% what you say.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's still 10%. Where is it?
Isaiah Riles gives 125 Filipino pesos and says, best musical moments in video games would be the final boss themes in JRPGs, e.g. Rivers in the Desert in Persona 5. Now it's all about the takeover and the life will change for me in Persona 5. I love how they work in life will change when you get to go back to the dungeon when you're about to take that motherfucker over,
Yeah.
and they just play it while you're sprinting to the boss fight to enjoy the process of taking that motherfucker over.
Whereas, Persona 5 is an all-timer soundtrack for me. But for me, if you've gone to my head, the one song I think of in Persona 5 is A Rainy Day Beneath the Mask.
Huh.
is like when you're wandering around at night in the rain and you have Beneath the Mask playing, and it's just beautiful. Every time it rains in a city and I'm wandering around it, I'm like, this is what I'm listening to. It's great.
No, take over every time. A song you never get
coming.
bored of because it's a song that just instantly kicks in.
Yeah.
And then I never get bored of it. Like I know, and it's the song that plays if you get into like a ambush battle rather than like a standard battle. So it's also a reward. It's like, yeah, fuck yeah, I ambushed this dude. Gonna use his weakness. Won't even get a hit off. Feel sorry for him.
What a
I
twat.
think Persona's good.
Yes, we all think
Confirmed.
Persona is good.
I think it's good.
Objective Retrieval the Fogs gives $2 again and says, speculating if the art of AMVs informed these. Remember them? Do you remember AMVs?
I do. Linkin Park to some sick-ass Gundam battles? Hell yeah.
I remember watching those like 2-hour-long AMV compilations they used to put out.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, we were sad.
What?
Listen, the internet was pure back then. Or at least the corners of the internet I went to were pure back then.
Yes, before everything got monetized, people would just, sync up their favorite Linkin Park songs to anime characters' mouth movements.
Oh, I just remember fucking like World of Warcraft PvP montages to Linkin Park and shit. Just like the most cringe stuff you can imagine.
It was the jokey AMVs I liked, where they take the footage from Dragon Ball Z of them screaming, and they just put Whitney Houston's "And I Will Always Love You" to that.
Love it.
Corvus Vocatio gives $2 and says, "Can I say all of Neon White? Is that allowed?"
Yes,
well, you're sort of missing the point of musical moments in games, Corvus Vocatio.
That moment it encompasses the entire game.
Yeah, it's an extended moment. Very long.
That game is so good. I want more Neon White likes.
Yes.
What would you call them? Like parkour?
I would like. Well, I
games?
wouldn't say no just to a sequel of Neon White. Frankly,
agreed.
We should be getting close-ish to hearing what they're working on. It's been 3 years, so to see what that.
I just remembered it's fucking Ben Esposito. Motherfucking author likes to change it up with every game.
Oh yeah, the next thing will not be anything like this.
Make another Hi-Fi Rush, you asshole. Sorry, I said Hi-Fi Rush when I meant to say Neon White. I fucking knew I would get those two confused at some point. I always do.
Both good.
Fox D gives $5 and says, playing Super Mario 64 today, you can't escape the "Hey, it's the national anthem of video games" feeling when hearing Bob on Battlefield.
Yep.
Yeah. It was also like one of those moments of like, oh, holy shit, we're doing it, where you get dropped into the first actual level of Mario 64, and especially if you were there at the time. Yeah, good shit.
Yeah, mind-blowing moment.
Corvus Vocatio gives $5 and says, I would also like to nominate all the hidden songs throughout COD Zombies maps. 90% of them are bangers and add to the action in a fantastic way.
Yahtzee, you are a resident COD Zombies fan. What's that all about?
They insist on not spinning off COD Zombies into its own thing, and which it's remarkable that they don't.
A friend of mine is like clinically obsessed with COD Zombies and like intimately understands all of the Easter eggs, and he's explained them to me before. They are their own like crazy universe of complex systems and secrets, and I agree with Yahtzee. It's crazy it's not its own thing.
Considering, evil AAA publishers and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking Sniper Elite spun off their zombie thing into its own game. Juicy Jeff gives $10. Fair warning, Juicy Jeff might have an axe to grind. And says, last week, Marty said, Claire Obscure had too much screen noise. Did you have barbiturates with your cheese curd and Wisconsin old-fashioned breakfast, or has overexposure from Atlas Weebery melted your brain?
I'm not 100% sure what that means. I stick by the fact that I think Claire Obscure, which I really enjoy, has too much screen noise.
I agree with that.
It's got a lot of business. Maybe I'm getting old.
My point was that the menus kind of suck, but I don't know about like every like moment-to-moment gameplay.
I think the menus being bad is a different is a different problem.
There's the HUD and there's the menus, and that's different things.
Yeah. No, I think there's a lot of business going on in the battles, and I'd like slightly less.
I can't deny that. It's a business game. That game says it's business time.
I'm sorry, Juicy.
ASDFGHJKL176516 gives 6 euros and says, I cry over good game music more often than over women. But Claire Obscure just speedran that shit. That Lumiere track from the prologue is straight magic. Are you a serial murderer? ASDFGHJKL 176516? Is that why you don't cry over women?
Just cry over women, he cries over their corpses.
Yeah.
Oh,
The Lumiere track is beautiful. Again, I like that every time you camp, you can go over to your little thing and be like, what song do I want to play? I'm like, hell yeah. Turn that shit up. I
liked how one time I was at camp and I spoke to a dude and they said, do you want to spend time with this dude? And I was like, oh, fine, Persona stuff.
Yeah.
Let me just see what all the other guys are up to and I'll decide who I'm going to spend the evening with. But then I chose someone to spend the evening with and then just went straight back to camp. They said, do you want to spend time with the other guys as well? Who the fuck? I mean, you got the rest of the night. Might as well. But okay, I assumed I just had to pick someone, but apparently not.
Like, oh, no, you can just hang out. Yeah. You want to write in your diary? Fucking sure. All right. I'll go to the edge of the cliff and be like, oh my God, I went to this village filled with a bunch of big fucking dolls. It was nuts.
Hey, let's craft some weapons.
Yeah.
Why not? Let's do everything. Who needs sleep?
This dude doesn't have a face. Let's go talk to him.
Let's fuck off screen as well at one point.
Hubba.
Jeffrey of Monmouth gives $10 and says, the music at the end of the 4 Fallout New Vegas DLCs. The narratives all interconnect and comment on the main game narrative, and the music changes based on the new themes and morals in moving ways. Okay.
I have not played these games. I like the idea of that, though.
Sure.
Yeah.
I haven't played the DLC.
So the music changes based on new themes and morals. Does that mean like the music changes based on like the decisions you make? Because that'd be cool. Like, I know there's like Nuke a Town or not Nuke a Town. It'd be interesting if like elements of a song. I always thought it'd be cool if there was like a big, like a Fable game to where you are slowly creating your own personal theme by your actions. And so by the end of the game, your character has a theme that is different than any other person's theme, because of what you've done or haven't done, like certain elements and motifs and instruments. And
that would be cool.
Yeah. I don't know how to do
that. I'd tie it to like side quests and stuff. Like for every side quest track you complete, another instrument is added to the theme.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Or like it just messes with the melody in a way where like you have this nice major melody, but every time you like kill an NPC or something, you get this really dissonant note that's added to the melody until it forms this horrible.
You played like such shit that at the end your thing is just like the Jurassic Park on the recorder, like the shitty version. That's what it should be. If you play the game on the easiest mode, you finish it, but the ending song is in the kazoo.
I'm just laughing thinking of the Jurassic Park recorder song again. Alex Armstrong gives $5 says musical moments that always makes me cry is both Melinda getting fired but being happy and Starstruck Vagabond's ending where you finally name the ship. Yeah, soundtrack by the guys who made BPM Bullets a Minute soundtrack, as I persist in reminding everyone.
Yeah.
Hey, who hasn't bought Starstruck Vagabond yet? Beat the rush.
Do it.
Buy it.
Tell your friends. Buy it for your mums. Also, I think you missed Roths.
Shit. Your 87 gives 20 Danish kroner. Sorry, I was too eager to wank my own cock. Morrowind had music that I still hum after 20 years.
Going back to Oblivion, that main theme kicks in. I'm on my feet, dude. I'm stomping.
Well, at least something in Oblivion isn't janky as shit.
This is true.
Do you think they're going to go back and do Morrowind?
Probably not, because that would involve
I guarantee
work.
you it's probably already in development, I reckon.
No, they got to be. That team's got to be doing a Fallout one now, right?
Well, they can't just slap HD graphics on the top of it like they did with Oblivion. They got actually, fix load of shit.
That's why they can do Fallout.
Record voice acting.
I asked this to Nick, but I want to ask you guys because you've put a lot of time in Oblivion. That same studio, obviously not the same people, but the same studio is the lead on the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake coming out later this summer. Remaster. I don't know. Maybe Yahtzee you'll be able to tell us what it is in a semi-rambling. But is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, it doesn't really tell me much because, as I say, the Oblivion remaster is literally just a graphical update with all the actual skeleton of the game still underneath.
Jay got so mad he left. Jay
I'm back. I'm back.
Us. Jay was so mad that I asked that question that he's like, I'm fucking done.
I honestly didn't hear the question. because Discord was bugging out, so I left and came back.
Oh no, I was mostly saying that Virtuous, the studio behind Oblivion,
They're doing the Metal Gear, right?
Yeah. So do you think they did a relatively good job of what
and
they
I was
set out to do
saying
with Oblivion?
that Oblivion really just feels like they just spruced up the graphics and everything and kept everything else as it was.
That's what a lot of people want, though. The jank of Oblivion is like 90% of its charm.
Yeah.
I think if Oblivion ran really smoothly without the bugs, it would be a way more boring game in general.
Hmm. And the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, as far as I could see, looks like it's going to be a full-on remake, like ground up. Does it? Is it not?
I don't know anything about these remakes. They're all very
It's going to be
confusing.
interesting, right? Because the Metal Gear Solid 3, the mechanics in that and how you interact with the game are quite beloved, right?
Yeah. Everyone likes chowing down on an entire fucking goat.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to eat the titular snake, or to become the titular snake eater.
I assumed it was a blowjob reference. The title.
Oh, like an Austin Powers thing? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was that, there's that one sexy lady character who keeps trying to seduce Snake in Metal Gear Solid 3. I feel like she was in the mood for eating a bit of Snake.
Hubbas.
Yes.
I see what's going on there.
Dread Pirate Mittens gives $5. It says, the needle drop for the credits of Mass Effect 1 sticks with me. It got me to look up the obscure Canadian synth rock band, Faunts.
I still have never played any of the Mass Effect games.
I remember very little about Mass Effect or its music. I just seem to remember it being generic music.
I like it when you like a song and you end up looking up. Like I did that for Jose Gonzalez, which was the song Going Into Mexico in Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
I was like, who is this? Let me look up more of their music.
Well, I'd never looked up Lonely Boy with the Black Eyed Keys until I played Hi-Fi Rush.
Well, Black Eyed Peas. You're thinking of
Black Keys.
You created
Black Eyed Peas.
I don't know much about music.
That's fine. What about Kickstart My Heart? Remember in the Guardians of the Galaxy game?
Well, I'd already heard that song.
That was a good moment.
I've met Will.i.am. Have I told you?
No.
I met him at the Webby Awards. He was wearing a white hat, and I was wearing a black hat, and we exchanged compliments on our hats.
Couple of hat boys.
Did you eat each other's snakes?
No. Don't be crude.
That's where the line was drawn. Nothing before that.
Spider William 13 gives $5. Says every Undertale theme. It's still in the popular zeitgeist almost 10 years later, and you can trigger PTSD with just the first 3 notes of Megalovania. Oh yeah, full of bangers. That
Great
soundtrack. That's another
Probably
soundtrack
the best
I
part of the game
to by itself. Hey, suck my dick.
It's a good game, but also the music is incredible. It's very good.
Oh, I don't know. It's the heart-rending emotional storytelling that does it for me, but you do you. But I guess the music's part of that.
I don't play weeb shit.
Good on you.
I only play Gran Turismo.
You only play, only non-weeb shit like Persona 5.
Exactly.
Play Need for Speed.
While I was sick this weekend, I watched 55 episodes of Gundam. I finished all of regular Gundam 79, and now I'm watching Gundam Zeta. And let me tell you, I just want to ride a Gundam.
I'm amazed you
this
can
is
still
why I built
inherently them. After all that.
Yeah, no joke. I think I'm going to start becoming a Gundam boy.
Broski, it is so fun putting them together. I haven't really watched all of the anime.
Is this something you two are going to have that's going to be like the British thing we have against Marty? Am I going to be left
to start talking about Gundams?
The only reason I'm doing it is to annoy Yahtzee.
Stop talking about Gundams. You're a better man than I am, Gundam Din.
That's good. That was a good.
I don't know. I don't know where that was going.
I liked it.
Where it's gone.
Paul gives $2 and says Hi-Fi Rush takes you back to the 2000s. Good feels. Yeah, when everyone had iPods that were separate devices to their phones.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bookworm776 gives $5 and says, don't speak her name in Fire Emblem Awakening plays during a battle sequence after a pivotal moment of loss, and it sticks with me a decade later.
Love it.
Peter Parker SL gives $10, says, as much as I love the sea shanties while you're coasting in AC Black Flag, I always prefer to play the Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack and other shanty covers while I play, especially during the battle segments. Oh no, I love when my crew starts singing shanties. I'm playing Black Flag again at the moment, and I'm going out of my way to collect every shanty for no other reason than because I like to hear my brethren with their voices raised in song.
Yeah, it's like Sea of Thieves, right? When your teammates are doing it, I think it's great.
What I really hate is when they start singing a shanty when we're just making a short trip. Like that's like, no, we're just like covering 50 yards to get to the next base. Shut up.
You're like, well, I have to like go around the block to finish the song.
Save this for the next epic journey, you idiots.
How do the shanties? Do you literally collect them by like? I can't remember, by like finding them in the environment.
It's the copy paste of the collecting Benjamin Franklin's papers in a mini game in Assassin's Creed 3. You just collect pieces of paper as they try to float away from you. Phantom of the Night gives 199. Says, just remembered, I never finished Stray Gods.
Oh yeah, that was a whole musical game. I still did it.
Yeah.
I need to play that.
Oh Jesus! A whole bunch more super chats just got added because I scrolled down.
Oh, don't
Jesus Christ! It never ends.
Never scroll down.
Fungus Finder gives $2 and says, "Oh yeah, Raphael's fight in BG3 was pretty good. Well, thanks for your contribution."
Does anyone
Fungus
remember this
Finder.
fight? Did either of you?
I don't remember this fight.
I don't think I played this far.
I didn't play.
It's a long fucking game, Baldur's Gate 3.
I don't remember where it is.
Baldur's Gate was the first 2 hours that Jay played on a stream.
Yeah,
that's all I remember.
I like to think I did 99%. I combed through that game before I did my video on it, and I don't remember that fight.
Japio gives $5. Says, Ocarina of Time might use it simply, but it's cool how little 3 to 8 note songs you memorize get to help you in different ways, getting to use music as useful tools. Yeah, it's good to create those little motifs. Just with a couple of handful of notes for the soundtrack to work with. Alex Armstrong gives $5 says, off topic, do you hate this particular game's sin? When you collect a coin, HP, etc., and the entire GUI pops in and out constantly instead of just staying on screen.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah.
But how will we take fancy screenshots if the GUI stays there the whole time?
I just want the GUI of the thing I've got to come up, not the entire, screen space. I want the coin collection thing in the top right corner to come up rather than my health and ammo count and all that bullshit.
It's probably more work to bring out all the different elements
there should just be like
just the whole thing.
It should be very customizable. You should be able to choose in all elements what you want when you want it.
Well, just make us design the whole fucking game then. Like, I just have 5 million sliders in the options menu, controlling every single aspect of game design. Because
it's just a game called Super GUI World, and it's just about fiddling with your GUI.
How many GUIs can you get on your screen?
Yeah.
No one wants to design fucking games anymore. Peter Parker SL gives $5 and says, even though it wouldn't make much sense, would any fantasy or medieval set game benefit from some sort of bard radio, like in Fallout? So you just have a one-bit minstrel just sort of running along beside you.
He just follows you,
Yeah, like
you can request
in the Witcher TV show, the guy's just...
And you have to pay, like Dandelion, you have to pay him as well. So the gold you collect, you can then give him some and he'll play you a song. So you'll be like, this is a boss fight, this is going to be epic. I'm going to pay the minstrel 5 gold and he's going to play a battle theme for me.
If you underpay him, he like plays a shitty version. He's making fun of you as you're getting your ass kicked in a song.
Yeah, or like it buffs you, right? It's like he's a bard.
Oh, so you'd be like Sir Robin in Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Brave Sir Robin ran away.
Sir Robin.
Bravely ran away. When darkness raised its ugly head, he bravely turned his tail and fled. What was Dandelion's name in the TV show again? Because they used the name from the books, didn't they? Yeah,
Yaskier, I think, or something along those lines.
For some reason, they used the original name from the Polish version rather than Dandelion, which was the name in the English translation.
Yeah.
And I think the name literally just translates to Dandelion, so doubly pointless, really.
Sounds more medieval, I guess.
I like Dandelion. Dandelion's a good name.
It's fun. It's fun that he's called Dandelion.
Yeah,
and he's kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
There aren't many flower names for boys. Tons of flower names for girls. Where's all the flower names for boys? I just want to have a boy named Hibiscus.
You know what? Be the change you want to see in the world.
All right, I'll have another baby, and if it's a boy, I'll call him Hibiscus.
Poor child.
I'm absolutely not doing that.
That's true. Basil. That's a good one, Eric.
That's not a flower. That's a herb.
What are you talking about? Flower's just an herb you can eat. Herb's just a flower you can eat. I don't know.
My next door neighbor was called Oregano.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't. Dr. Theo gives $5 and says, I also want to bring up the DJ music part from FNAF Security Breach. Game is shite, but the music from that part was pumping. If you say so. I don't really remember it, probably because I was distracted by the game being shite.
Yeah, the game was shite. I don't remember this part either. Granted, again, I only played 2 hours watching Yahtzee play, which isn't playing. I guess I just watched.
Daryl gives $10 and says, I'm so lonely, the end song for Phantom Dust. It's great and free to play. Play it. Is the song called I'm So Lonely, or are you just confessing, Daryl?
I'm so lonely. Unrelated, I'm so lonely. But yeah, the ending song of Phantom Dust was pretty good. Also, Reardon with a great point. Herb, that's a Herb. That's a guy's name.
Oh, there you go.
Herb.
But it's short for Herbert.
Yeah.
Why isn't there someone called like Spicebert?
I want to know a little bit more about Jay's neighbor, Oregano.
Oregano Jones.
Well,
Oregano Jones.
Also in English, we say oregano.
Oregano
No, we don't.
Jones.
In English? Or in England do you do?
In England,
English.
you know, because it's our language.
Yes, in proper English, that's our language that we made up.
Yeah.
Fox D gives $5, says obscure pick, but the Motor Yard Stadium theme from Super Mega Baseball 3 plays during the player intros and gets you wicked pumped up for the game.
Fox D, you get the award for obscure pick of the stream.
You know what the other great bit of music in Yakuza Pirate, Yakuza Like a Dragon was?
What's that?
Aside from the sing-along moment, it's when you open the menu and it plays the yo-ho song.
That's a great one.
Every time. I love that one.
Yeah. Agreed.
Pirate Captain Jack, speaking of pirates, gives $2, says Legend of Dragoon soundtrack in my head on loop.
That game's been brought up a lot recently because the battle system was one of the inspirations for Clair Obscur as well.
Really?
You can see here with the timing-based battles.
Well,
even with the square kind of...
Even with the square, that even, you could tell there's even like iconography that feels similar.
Yeah.
LOTR fan 193, member for 17 months in the Green Gang, says the Neverhood Weasel Chase is nostalgic for me.
The Neverhood.
Never played that.
Neverhood a game?
Yeah, it's like a claymation point-and-click adventure.
I never heard of it.
The Neverhood Weasel Chase sounds like a fucked up riddle, like an elderly person would tell you.
Yes.
The Neverhood Weasel Chase. Settle down, children.
Where grandma just has dementia.
Agnes, we don't talk about the Neverhood Weasel Chase.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
This is what they get. Oh, I feel like I've seen this game before. This little claymation monstrosity.
Yeah,
This
it's
is awesome.
it's pretty iconic.
Yeah.
Price the poster gives €23.99. It says my top 4 music moments in gaming: Assassin's Creed 2 intro moment with Ezio's brother and Ezio's family playing It's a Good Life We Live, brother. Mass Effect 3 Leaving Earth, DMC 3/5 Devils Never Cry, and Doom 2016 music reacting to action BFG Div.
Only problem is Doom's music is bad, but everything else is great.
Well, we'll see
I'm the
about
only person
that.
who thinks that. People get very mad at me for saying that.
I don't
Big
really
Gordon
remember much
was.
about- I don't really remember much about.
It's all a bunch of
music.
butt rock.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's the butt rock of games. Doom. That's what it is.
I'm not here for butt rock. I'm here for fucking crack jazz.
Okay. Phil. Sorry, I'm just contemplating the phrase crack jazz for a second there.
Yeah.
Fill my ass up. Gives 50 Norwegian kroner and says the ending to
Crack
Chance of Xenar almost made me cry tears of happiness. Are there any games that would benefit from having a final boss song number? Every game would benefit from a final boss number, I think.
Yeah. I think it would make it memorable.
Yeah. Alex Armstrong gives $5. Says finished Lollipop Chainsaw remaster and feel like playing more of Suda 5-1's works. Since Killer 7's puzzles baffle me, would you recommend No More Heroes? I would say Killer 7 is closest to Suda 5-1's seminal work, but it's the most approachable. But so yeah, No More Heroes would be the close second. A lot of games with Suda 5-1's name on, including Lollipop Chainsaw actually, don't really have his vibe. It was more a James Gunn project, Lollipop Chainsaw.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wrote his one big thing in the games. Yeah. I know they're remastering or re-releasing Shadows of the Damned, but that was kind of a joint thing with him and Mikami, right?
Yeah, it was him. It was like a super group between him, Mikami, and Akira Yamaoka. And it definitely feels like Mikami had the biggest stink on it.
Yeah.
Because it feels like feels more
Resi
like
4.
most like Resi 4 or like God Hand.
Yeah.
Zakalwi Elethayomel gives €5. There's not really a moment. The Jet Grind Radio OST. As a kid growing up with rock and military music, 'twas a revelation. Still listen to it today. Love you all.
Yep. Yeah, that was like getting into that and Fooly Cooley, like right at the same like turn of the century moment for me, like opened up a whole new fucking third eye of weebdom. It was wonderful.
Juicy Jeff gives $5 and says, on topic, you're not alone from Final Fantasy IX when Zidane's pals rescue him from existential sad boy jail and one by one try to cheer him up through combat. I'm mainly just appreciating the phrase existential sad boy jail in that
exactly what he was. He was absolutely an existential sad boy jail.
I think that's going to be the name of my next album.
Yeah. Yeah, what a game. Objective
Retrieval The Frogs gives $2. It says, also shout out to Lee Jackson and the whole ROTT OST. Rise of the Triad?
I have no idea. I've never seen...
Yeah. Well, it's got a pretty good soundtrack, Rise of the Triad.
Yeah.
Every now and again I put on the Fish Polka and hold up my dog and make it look like he's dancing around. Never fails to make my wife laugh. Hawkeye Goff gives 50 Swedish krona and says, shout out to the Katawa Shouju soundtrack, especially Painful History. That game just gets to me, even after not touching it for Lord knows how long. Is that that indie dating sim with all the thalidomide baby girls in it?
Oh, it looks like a romantic visual novel set in a fictional high school Japan for disabled girls. What?
Yeah, one of them's like a thalidomide baby. I remember that.
I don't know what this is.
Changing the subject very quickly. Katana Zero, great soundtrack. Great game. Yeah. Super memorable because of its short length.
Katana Zero is great.
Are you literally just bringing that up? Are you literally bringing that up because Katawa Shouju sounds a little bit like Katana Zero?
Yeah.
Well,
and it's a great soundtrack. I absolutely adore that soundtrack.
John Brooks gives £20 and says, not sure if it counts, but really nostalgic for the campaign map music of Rome Total War 1. It was so soothing, I would just nod off to it. Marty, get well soon.
Oh, thank you, John. I won't. I'm dying.
Hunter Road, remember for 17 months in the Green Gang? Gwyn's theme, the first time you hear it. Oh, yeah. Oh. After a game full of bombastic, orchestral, like, choral stuff. Just going into the final boss and it's just sad piano. That's a moment right there.
Souls is a great example of games that is very sparse with its music. For its exploration, you get none. So it's only in boss fights. So the theming of those tracks is really on point.
Dr. Theo gives $5 and says, okay, one more example. The chase music in Dead by Daylight adds so much to the chases in that game. Each killer has their own music, which is cool. Because some of them come with their own soundtrack, like Michael Myers.
That's true.
John
You're in a real hummy mood today.
I know. John Carpenter once famously said that he treats music like the wallpaper in movies. He basically puts as much effort into it that's necessary to create the necessary mood, and that's about it.
He's great.
That's kind of the attitude I take with putting music
does a
in
lot
my
of
games.
the soundtrack himself.
Yeah. All he needs is a synthesizer keyboard. Halloween soundtrack, just mashing two keys. LOTR fan 193 gives 199 says, I like Ratchet and Clank soundtracks. I feel like everyone sort of shifted over to just recommending soundtracks now. That wasn't the topic.
Give us that moment.
It was that moment where music makes a scene really pop.
You know what game I really enjoyed in the moment, but then I haven't really thought about lately, is the Ratchet and Clank game from a few years ago. It was very pretty.
Agreed.
I enjoyed myself.
Just thinking about that.
I just do not think about that game.
I can't tell you a single set piece from it or musical track, but I can tell you I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Are we talking about the thing that came out to coincide with the movie, or
the PS5 one?
The PS5 one is
3 years ago.
Oh no, that was the
previous
previous
one.
10
years ago.
Yeah, the one before.
Yeah. Now you mention it, I haven't thought about Rift Apart since I reviewed it. It was certainly a game that you did things in. Yeah. There was like a female version of Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah,
And they did the whole PS5. We've got an SSD now, like teleporting through portals into new levels.
Right. Yeah, that was the big thing.
Hawker Bridging gives 4.99. It says Saints Row 4. The cast is singing Biz Markie over the credits, and each audio track is removed until only Michael Clark Duncan remains, his final role.
Oh, that's nice.
That's nice.
R.I.P.
Mopman for 43 gives 4.99. Says I can't remember a moment that stuck with me, but the Pokemon Gen 2 soundtrack is still in my head to this day.
I feel like
Pokemon's music is great.
Pokemon's music is great, and I feel like I always think of like stepping into Lavender Town for the first time and being like, "Oh, this music's fucking spooky," or just venturing out like the first as soon as you leave Pallet Town in the
Biddle bim 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 biddle bim 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 biddle
Yeah.
bim 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 bim.
What is it?
I love it. One of the things that annoys me the most about Pokemon is a lot of the times the battle music is the exact same for the majority of the game, and
Yeah.
that can get grating considering that's the main thing you do all of the time. But other than that, the area music is just immaculate.
Elena gives €5. Says when I heard the menu theme in Metroid Prime, I knew all of the reviews were right. Yeah, that's a banger.
Yeah, the Metroid Prime soundtrack is pretty incredible. Casey and I just wrapped it up a little while ago.
Wee boo wee woo wee woo wee woo wee, etc.
I didn't realize that the lyrics to that song were just the word weeb over and over.
Yeah, wee. Fungus Finder gives $2. Says, "Damn, my shots were too slow. Marty, I blame your flu." Oh, it's not flu, Fungus Finder.
It's
the next,
I got
the next level up from flu.
Yeah, Super Flu 64.
Damn.
LOTR fan 193 gives 199. Says Spiritfarer end song stuck with me on replays. Ah, yeah, that got to me. Another case of suddenly bringing in lyrics to make it really hit home.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to stop doing the duh-duh-duhs.
No, you keep doing it. Again, I think Yahtzee hums. There's some legs to this.
Yeah, well, we'll make it Patreon content. How about that? Fox D gives $5. Says Jerry Seinfeld once said the secret to comedy is timing, inflection, and delivery. Jeez, what a revelation. Man, I'm glad we all listen to Jerry Seinfeld when it comes to learning how to do comedy. He didn't say anything about the actual content of the joke.
Well, that explains a lot of things about the fucking Pop-Tart movie from last year.
Well, surely timing is part of the content of the joke.
I would think so.
I'd have thought.
I would say so.
Fungus Finder gives $2. It says, "Okay, now name a bad game that has slapping tunes."
Ooh, that's a good question.
How about Wet?
Halo Infinite.
I don't remember the music in Wet.
They were going for it was like a Tarantino influence.
Yeah. Yeah, the soundtrack of Halo. I don't think Halo Infinite is bad, but it's not good.
No, it's just there.
But its soundtrack is really good. Its soundtrack might be the best thing. Its soundtrack and its grappling hook are the two best things about the game.
And it was done, I believe, by Gareth Coker, the same guy who did Ori in the Blind Forest.
Yeah.
Spider William 13 gives $2. It says AC Black Flag and singing shanties with the boys. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. Lie. Lie.
See, we need any game that has a party. The party should sing at some point. Fucking karaoke in a Yakuza game. That's great.
Yes, that's a thing. Now that Yakuza's done it and Black Flag did it, that's the new rule. If you have a party, they have to have a sing along.
I haven't finished Clair Obscur yet. I hope they sing some French tunes.
Oh, everything's a little bit too depressing for everyone to have a sing along in Clair Obscur.
Some Daft Punk, some Edith Piaf.
They just recreate that scene in Casablanca where they sing the Marseillaise and drown out the Germans.
Yeah, exactly. What a movie.
Because everyone's French in that game.
They're extremely French. I like beating the shit out of mime wearing my cool horizontal stripes. What do they call those shirts? Maritime shirts.
And in the English translation, every now and again they say merde, just to underline how French it is.
We're so French.
Yeah. We even swear in French. Brad gives $2 and says AMV Hell 3, the motion picture, was the peak of AMV. Yeah, that's one of the ones I watched back in the day.
It's an hour long.
It's a whole film?
Yeah, they just like cobbled together all the AMVs to make like a 3-hour movie.
Gotcha.
Nick Knoll gives $5 and says, should have been mentioned by now. How about when the main Halo theme kicks in for the first time? Hits so hard when you experience for the first time.
Music in Halo is good. Did you guys see Gears of War getting a Fallen remaster coming PlayStation, which is very weird.
Remaster, remake, or re-release?
So it's already been remastered, and I think this is being remastered. I think they're doing it again. What happens when you remaster a remaster?
How many times can you master something? Jesus Christ.
There's just loads more waist-high rubble for you to sit behind like a pleb.
They gave all the chest-high walls a bit of a polish.
Oh, remember in Gears of War 3, when Dom dies, they play Mad World, the Gary Jules cover of Mad World.
It is a Mad World, though, isn't it? Fucking locusts.
Fucking Mad World.
And absolutely, that, Donnie Darko, doing the Predator handshake. Using Mad World.
That bit in Silent Hill 4 where you find the dying lady in the subway station and music kicks in with the lyrics. That's a good moment.
That's a good one. God, Silent Hill 4 is good.
I know. Hilt87 gives 50 Danish kroner and says, favorite idiom, mine, now that goat should be shaven. Der skulle den get fair barberet. Danish idiom for issue to be solved. Also, no cow on the ice.
Man, that I like those. I want more
Danish
cultural
idioms.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. What's our favorite idioms? I ain't sticking my dick in that beehive.
I'm trying to think of some British ones.
I ain't buggering that brown dog.
Yeah, that thing.
To be honest, I don't think I have a favorite idiom.
Well, the phrase that I know of from England is "bugger my old brown dog" as an exclamation.
So I've got a couple here apparently from the AI overview. On your bike.
Yeah, that's good.
So, fuck off, go away. Bit under the weather, feeling rough.
Bit under the weather, bruv.
Chuffed to bits.
Yeah.
Happy. Easy peasy. It's raining cats and dogs. Piece of cake. Barking up the wrong tree. Hit the nail on the head.
Up the wrong tree,
I
mate.
like a lot of these.
Give someone the benefit of the doubt is not an idiom.
It's a
weird
phrase.
What's that?
Like
the ball's in your court. That's also just
balls in your court. Yeah,
and
I'm gonna stop looking at that now.
And of course, no true Scotsman puts sugar on his porridge.
Yeah,
damn,
this is true.
I put a little brown sugar in your porridge.
Nilo Cortex gives $5. It says 18 years later, I still have portals still alive, living rent free in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, game lyrics coming in to punctuate the ending song.
That's true.
Alex Armstrong gives $5. Says rumor has it.
Scuttlebutt.
Alex Armstrong gives $5. Says, speaking of Mario 64 and music, did you know there's an Easter egg in Peach's Castle that has the song notes of the Song of Storms from Ocarina of Time? I did not know that.
I don't know if you saw that this weekend, Alex Armstrong. I found that out this weekend. It was like a Twitter post or something. There's like there's a portrait in Peach's Castle that has like a nighttime sky and 6 stars are lit, and it's the Song of Storms, notes very clearly. 2 years.
Eric, find this. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, like I had no idea that existed. Also, this might be Photoshop and fake, but it doesn't matter. Even if it's fake, it's still pretty cool.
L is real.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to believe. Longshanks gives £20 and says, Priscilla's song in The Witcher 3. There's something about it that really sticks with me. Maybe it's the rumbling tavern coming to a complete silence to hear her song that made me feel like I was in the room.
Yeah, that's a great example, Longshanks.
There you go. Fungus Finder gives $2. Says, end of Portal. No one said that, right? Oh, just missed your chance there, Fungus Finder.
Fungus Finder, how are you always like 2 steps behind? What's going on?
He's too busy finding fungus.
That's
to
true.
Listen properly.
He's a mushroom man. He's a shroom man.
Gay Bear Daddy 2, member for 17 months in Tip Jar. Thank you very much.
17 months, lads.
Yeah, that's a long time. Fox D gives $5. Says, you people with your endless remasters lately forfeit the right to rag on sports gamers for playing the same game over and over. Well, fair enough.
It's my right to contradict myself.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's my right to have no leg to stand on.
And then Gay Bear Daddy 2 comes back with another bear with me, $5, and says, "Forgive my weebiness, but Final Fantasy XIV, especially from Dawn Trails raids, makes up my current workout playlist. Then Sonic Frontiers."
I will say, as much as I do have issues with Final Fantasy XIV, the MMO, the music and some of the raids is immaculate. They have the best raid content in any MMO by far.
Final Fantasy as a whole. No one mentioned in Final Fantasy VII the Aerith's theme coming in when Sephiroth, spoiler, stabs her and the white materia falls to the bottom of the lagoon.
I think that's a moment that's more famous from word of mouth than people actually playing the game and experiencing it, because it's so late in the game.
Sure.
And people who actually finish games are kind of in a minority.
That's true. At this point, I feel like enough people have probably finished it. Maybe.
I haven't.
Well, spoilers. I'm sorry.
Oh, you mean Aerith dies? Shit, she was my wife.
No, I'm sorry. Waifu.
You wife.
I believe in
Nice.
Doo-Doo Man gives $2 and says, "John Gundam really gunned all the dams in G Gundam."
See? Doo-Doo Man
He
knows
really
what's going
did.
on. There he is. There's John Gundam.
War is bad. War is bad. Oh yeah, but look at this cool robot.
Counterpoint with the sick-ass mech.
Wait, I mentioned like ages ago in a video that I was when in my bachelor days, I shared a flat with a weeb for a while, and he used to watch something that I think might have been Gundam. It was a thing where some dudes were fighting like giants and giant robots, and it turned out music was the answer to fixing war. Is that the right thing?
All the Gundam I've watched has been robot on robot. There's like no monsters in any of the Gundam I've seen so far.
Shit, what am I thinking of?
Evangelion or something?
Gurren Lagann?
No.
Could be Gurren Lagann.
It was
Escaflowne?
something to do
Macross?
with.
Oh, Macross.
Oh, it was probably Macross. It was something to do with culture. Something culture. Like
Macross,
super culture.
for the culture.
Yeah.
Super culture.
They played music and it made the aliens not kill people.
That's the second dumbest thing next to the aliens are allergic to water.
Yeah.
From science.
So obviously they came to a planet like that's 90% water, where the dominant species are also made of water and can spit water and plumb water into their homes. And then the aliens went onto that planet and took all their clothes off and ran around.
Dumb fucking aliens.
Hawk Bridging gives 199 says, "Okay, favorite mobile suits. 00 had my fave designs." Oh, fucking
Still really
hell.
like the Gundam wing designs. I also like that we know when these super chats came in.
Hey, who likes Father Ted?
I'm trying to think of what my favorite Gundam was to build. I'll have to find the name of it.
I feel like this was us.
Hey, who else
This was
used to
Yahtzee
read
and I
Dino
trying
comics?
to lure our child Jay close to us. Be like, which one does he love more? And you're talking about Father Ted, and I'm like, but Gundams, Jay, look, it's Gunpla.
Hey,
Ted's also really good.
Hey, Jay, my in-laws are taking a trip to England soon, and they asked me to make a list of what grocery items they should pick up for me. I was thinking of asking for Twiglets.
Twiglets, yeah. I'm not sure if you can get any if you like it, brown sauce.
Jay, how do you feel about new types? Tell me your thoughts.
I got a.
I've
got a sauce. Actually, I have a sauce for HP sauce within this country, but I still can't find prawn cocktail flavor skips anywhere.
You got a sauce for the sauce?
Skip, crisps. Yeah, like certain crisps, like skips or like quavers are real fucking good. But also, when you build a Gundam, you should start off.
Hey, Jay, what Gundam do you think would really like marshmallow tea cakes the best?
I actually want to know the answer to that.
The God Gundam would fucking
There's a God Gundam?
Yeah, and he's really cool.
Is his name
I've still got a million super chats to read out. Let's move on. Tungsten Oof gives 50 HK dollars and says Disaster Pieces score for Hyper Light Drifter, in particular the track Panacea, which plays over the credits. Going from the atmospheric synth score to solo piano really makes it a sobering moment.
I kind of completely spaced out. Hyper Light Drifter is also songs in every episode of Design Delve. So another amazing soundtrack.
Dr. Theo gives $5.
Disaster Piece is super talented as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Dr. Theo gives $5. Says, "Okay, I lied. I have another. The weed burning dubstep scene from Far Cry 3.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Joshua Pinot gives $5. Says, "Hades had several moments where I had to pause and just listen to the music for a bit. Also makes for top tier D&D battle music." Yeah,
It's,
the Supergiant dudes are fond of their musical moments, like in Pyre, where they'd have the lyrics song during like the tournament finals.
Yeah.
there's a really cool moment in there's like a progressive metal gent band I like called Periphery, and they have a song called Zagreus, and it's just a completely unrelated song, but then like near the end they just do the Zagreus theme riff and then just go right back to playing their song, and it comes
Nice.
out of nowhere, and a friend pointed it out to me the other day and I was like, wow, that's awesome. Not sure if it's on the soundtrack for Hades 2 or something.
Yeah, Supergiant, all four of their games, amazing musical moments. Bastion has a moment where the song playing in a level slowly becomes diegetic, and you realize you're coming close to the person who's humming that song, and it's like a major character. Really cool stuff.
Hawker Bridging gives 199. Says, "Don't fear the Reaper in Prey. Hooked me instantly." Oh yeah, a great bit in the intro.
Yeah,
where
that one's great.
You're abducted by aliens, and the jukebox starts playing "Don't Fear the Reaper." Pity the rest of the game sucks.
I was about to say, is it good or is it bad if the most memorable moment, like an incredibly memorable moment, is just the first moment of the game?
Yeah.
Well, I still say BioShock's got the best opening of any game ever.
Yeah, that's true. But the rest of the game does follow up.
Yeah, it has its moments.
Yeah.
Wojtek gives $5 and says, "Joining late, so apologies if this already got mentioned. The sea shanties from AC Black Flag." Yes, it was already mentioned, Wojtek, but thanks for your money anyway.
Also, congrats on helping win the war.
Yes.
Wojtek the Bear.
You big old bear, you.
Oh, I love you, Wojtek the Bear.
Tsunami Dusha gives $20. There he is. Thanks, Tsunami Dusha. And then Sussy Guru 2000 gives €5. Says, "The lowdown music from XCOM 2 pumps you up to kick some alien butt."
Ooh.
As opposed to kicks you up to pump some alien butt.
Hubba hubba. Suey-ma-san.
It's like you and Will.i.am.
Yeah.
Couple of snake eaters out here.
Well, yeah. I mean, XCOM 2's got the snakes.
Okay.
Andre Franco gives €11 and says, "Hello. Have you ever noticed that in the Escapist webpage, if you look up the staff profiles, it seems as if Marty is the only one who left? Yahtzee, Nick, and Jack are all mentioned in present tense." Well, someone should probably get on top of that, Andres Franco.
Yeah.
Maybe
Daryl, yeah, like in that stream you were going to do for the Escapist.
Hey, they finished it eventually.
Daryl gives
because
$5.
I literally changed it because I left a day later.
I see.
I think that's how it works. Yeah.
Daryl gives $5 and says, "Silver Bullet in Devil May Cry 5. It was set up very well."
A lot of the Devil May Cry 5 soundtrack is really good.
Great game.
And then Nonki gives $2 to go.
None of that came through the microphone. None of it's coming through the microphone. It sounds
This is
like
impressive how little it's coming through.
It just says loud fart noises, so I'm trying to make loud
but
fart
none
noises.
of that was loud. That was like negative.
None of it was
noise.
coming through.
Damn you. Okay, just loud fart noises, spoken verbally. Imagine them in your head.
Oh god, it stinks.
Wojtek gives $5 and says, "Since Black Flag got mentioned already, here's another. When you arrive in Soingard in Skyrim, that's when the change in music really sets the mood."
Yeah.
Scram.
Just the main theme of Skyrim. Loading up that menu for the first time.
Yeah. Non-key gives... Oh, hello. Are you sensing we're drawing to a close? Non-key gives $2 and says, "Did anyone mention the Great Mighty Poo already?" Fucking first thing we mentioned, Non-key.
Let's talk. You know what? Let's just loop this bad boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go back around.
What do you guys think of the Great Mighty Poo?
I thought it was a great juxtaposition of etc.
Also, I feel like before we get to the end... Oh, no, sorry. What were you going to say?
I'd build a Mighty Poo Gundam.
What about
Moving on.
Gundam made a shit. No, before we get to the end, I do have to... Ellie's in the thumbnail, and I feel like it'd be weird if we didn't mention... I asked for that thumbnail because I do think the two guitar moments in The Last of Us Part 2 are quite beautiful. Joel playing the Pearl Jam song, Future Days, to Ellie, and then Ellie playing Aha to Dina. I think they're really beautiful.
I just kind of rolled my eyes at the second one.
The Aha one? That was last night on the TV show.
I feel like there are some tracks that you probably shouldn't do a soulful, slow, an acoustic version of.
But do you think in a post-apocalypse you wouldn't know that? You wouldn't have like the...
Well, I assume that was the context. Like she only knew that song because like Joel had taught it to her.
Yeah. I think that's... yeah.
And, just sort of made it seem a bit silly.
Well, she never saw like the music video, so probably never saw any music video.
I'm in a unique position.
What's that?
Carry on, yes.
No, go on.
I'm in a unique position with the TV show because Jess does not know the thing that happens in the second game. That's currently happening in the TV show. So we're waiting for the season to be finished, and then we're going to watch it. And I'm going to have a front row seat.
Oh,
this is our chance to be one of those insufferable pricks who'd already read about the red wedding scene in the books.
Exactly.
Oh, you just wait. I'm shocked if Jess is able to remain unspoiled. That'd be great.
Gay Bear Daddy 2 comes back with $5. It says more in line with the topic. FF14 Endwalker, the final map has one theme. After the penultimate cutscene of it, the lyrics kick in. I nearly cried.
Music's great in that game.
Final Fantasy, you did it.
Don't cry, Gay Bear Daddy. You must be strong for the twinks.
I thought you were going to say the truth is I never left you. Don't cry for me, gay baddie bear. That was a Vita.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Permafrost
didn't react to it. That's why I thought I had to say something because you were just silent.
I got the joke. I just didn't laugh. Permafrosty 79, member for 13 months in Tip Jar. And then Dr. Theo gives $2 and says Portal 2, the part where he kills you. Okay.
I like the part where he kills you. That's a very clever moment.
It's not really the music that makes it for me.
No, it is the part where he kills you, and then them telling you it is the part where he kills you.
Boxer gives $2 and says Metal Gear Rising has amazing musical cues during. Yes,
have we brought up Metal Gear Rising yet?
Yeah, we brought up everything that you're bringing up. Stop adding super chats. I want to get my lunch.
No, keep doing it.
Yep.
Fungus Fighter gives $2 and says actually the Pokemon Final 4 music is kick-ass. And then Nonky gives $2 and says, sorry, cunts, I joined late, lol. And then Dr. Theo gives $2 and says, did anyone mention AC4 shanties yet?
We haven't. Let's talk about AC4 shanties.
Yeah.
Haul away your anchor. Every time you bring it up, I'm going to sing one now every time someone brings it up.
Don't throw it good time.
Fox D gives $5 says another obscure one. Luna's concert song toward the end of my time at Sandrock. Part of a fantastic payoff stroke coda for a 100-hour game. I still need to play my time with Sandrock. Every now and again someone brings it up. And it seems like people seem to like it.
Is that the sequel to My Time at Port?
Yes.
Portia,
it is the sequel to that very game.
Okie dokie.
I mean, to play games in my spare time, it kind of has to be something I can hold in my lap. I'm thinking of investing in a Steam Deck because currently I can only play Black Flag on my Switch.
Steam Decks are great. I'm a big fan.
Nonky gives $2. Says gonna to go take a sheet. Collective Effervescence gives $5 and says shadows fall and hope has fled. Steal your heart, the dawn will come. Christ knows what that's referencing. And then Dipolar Apathy gives $1.99 and says, "Oh, Mori had a fantastical bad ending lyrical track."
The Collective Effervescence one was from a song from Dragon Age Inquisition.
And then Nonky gives $2 and says, just delaying Yahtzee's lunch, lol, take that cunt. Right, that's the end of the podcast, everyone. Thanks for listening to the Windbreakers podcast again. I was Yahtzee Crowshaw. You can enjoy Fully Ramblematic this week, and then Yahtzee Tries on Wednesday, and also the Yahtzee Tries compilation on Sunday. Go! Next one, hurry up.
You can enjoy Design Delve, which came out today, and also you can also come hang out on DevHeads, which is on Friday. That is me.
So the Great Mighty Poo was an important moment to me because later today at 6 p.m. Central will be the Hidden Gems. And we're playing Tempopo, which is the new rhythm kind of humanity-esque game from the developers of Unpacking. Their first game since Unpacking.
Tempopo.
So, looks very different from Unpacking. So tune in for that.
I gotta say the key art for that game looks really generic.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. But hopefully the game's cool.
It's painful to look at, frankly.
check that out. We'll also, although it should be normal streams this week, no Nick and Jenna stream tomorrow because Nick is going to be out of the country at a preview event. But there should be a video going up on the channel in like 20 minutes. That's kind of like a big refresher of a bunch of stuff that we have planned in the pipeline. Or is that tomorrow?
All right,
That might be
then.
tomorrow. Never mind. That's tomorrow. There's probably something going up in 20 minutes. Never mind.
And finally, Fungus Finding is $2 says, my name is Yahtzee and I don't need lunch. And then Bragg is $2 says, I didn't want to mention Black Flag Shanties. The end. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.
Oh my God, the ended so quickly. The ended
Subscribe
so
to Patreon.
quickly.
Me. I am the Great Mighty Poo, and I'm going to throw my shit at you. A huge supply of tish comes from my chocolate starfish. How about some scat, you little twat? Do you really think you'll survive in here? You don't seem to know which creek you're in. Sweet corn is the only thing that makes it through my rear. How do you think I keep this lovely grin? Now I'm really getting rather mad. You're like a niggly, tickly, shitty little tag nut when I've knocked you out with all